Hello, hello, beautiful beings. This is Lauren Rowan, surfing Vuzuvaya, and this is a personal moment. As I'm working through on this eclipseness, and I had different discussions and check-ins about, you know, there has been. I didn't say this since 2012, and my girlfriends were like, "You need to. This is Tinder. You need to date people, Lori." And they made me a Tinder account, and I was like, "Okay, I hate to do this. Totally open to a relationship." So as I'm looking at different things today and coming to different ownership and realization, um, because again this week I had some really interesting experiences of flirtations that seemed to offer me exactly what I wanted and what I was asking for. And realizing that, some of what I want really actually wanted, and what I really get out of these dates that I'm like, ugh, that nothing comes out of, but there's been the ego fulfillment that I needed. I get the reassurances of myself as still a high status female. Ah, you know, and then and I'm very clear in these experiences at this point in my life of what I am and am not interested in. But for me, there were a couple of really interesting points that really have come up through processing this week. This doorway this week, this opportunity with Venus and Jupiter and this dance between them, as opportunities for love, yes, and you know, and realizing myself, like even I reconnected as an old friend who I absolutely love, who's truly an amazing friend. But we spent 7 years in this dance of um, anytime one of us would be like we were always best friends and sometimes lovers, but when we take turns usually going back and forth, being like, okay, so let's take this to another level, let's move in together, let's talk about taking next more serious steps as a relationship. And the other one would be like, I'm not ready for this, I gotta go. And we would go back and forth and back and forth. And I've manifested this in many ways in my life. And that was in my 20s, okay? That was not anywhere recently. That was in my 20s. And I've manifested in this different ways, from having huge crushes on my best friends, but then when they actually became single and the possibility was there between us and the feelings were mutual, just shutting down, just not being able to deal with the emotions at all. And that for a while I just wanted a romantic placeholder. I wanted a bit of fantasy in my life and a romantic placeholder because I felt like I needed an excuse and a justification. I needed hope. We've talked about the importance of hope before. But I needed an excuse and a justification for just to hold space for the romantic in my life because I wasn't really there yet. And I wasn't really ready for that. And so I'm not sure that's where I am now, but I certainly have had allowed for the space to do that, you know. Um, Whether it be again romantically fixating on something that is not possible and is not tangible, or and which is a great fantasy and placeholder, but it's also a huge waste of energy. Regardless of whatever the explanation or reasoning, they don't need my justifications. It is what it is. I am who I am. This is where I am now. This is what I know now. What I know now is that there's a lot about vulnerability. There's a lot about engaging that I is a growing part of me, and that I really honestly want partnership. But as I tell my clients often, again, this is how I learn. Thank you, amazing people. thank all of you beautiful fucking beings that have been my teachers, and it's constant. This understanding that, you know, I can have all of the above. That if I choose to take a lover now or I choose an experience now, it's not in the way of anything. That these are all stages of learning that prepare me energetically, emotionally, I'm learning and growing, and that this allows me to be ready for when I actually have a partner in my life. And at the same time, how truly important it is to be as joyfully honest with oneself as possibly be. That my illusions are not not worth justifying, not worth explaining, not worth investing in. That they've had enough, that it doesn't matter why or when. Again, the universe knows me, the universe loves me, and these illusions have had enough of their time. Yeah, these illusions have had enough. So, so here I am, and I'm really thankful for. I had some really beautiful flirtations this week. One made me super. One was entirely within my control, and it had all the like classics of like really it was just lovely connection and conversation, and he, you know, is very clear about just coming out of a relationship and wanting someone to spend time with, and his attraction to me, and the fact that he had shitloads of money that he wanted to spend on me. Those are all nice things to hear. Asking me how I like to party. Ooh, I love those flirtations. I love when someone initiates the debate as do I prefer Cristal or Dom Perignon. I'll be like, you're singing my songs. And but still, I wasn't actually interested or engaged enough to take that opportunity for myself. Just having the opportunity was enough. And then when I walk away, there are times I question and go, isn't that what you wanted? Actually, all I wanted was the reassurance. What I really wanted was, and maybe not, but in that moment, I'm trusting myself that I walked away. I'm trusting myself that I felt the need to walk away, and I don't need to, I never needed to go to bed with him. I never needed to take the opportunity. They're having someone, and I wouldn't even go out to dinner. I'm so funny. I had Chinese takeout already. It was exactly what I wanted. But I had some really beautiful, it was a fun evening. It was a really positive and lovely experience. And again, I got all of the social and cultural markers as to my status as a woman. I'm 49 years old. It's a thing. And I'm just kidding. I can just admit that because I live my life. So, hey. So, as this process continues, as the eclipse and this beautiful dance in the sky is reflected within my own self, this is the joys of the realizations and acceptance of me just being able to be me. And again, I don't know what's going on. This is the shift, and I'm here for this. Thanks for coming on this ride with me. This very personal surfing Vuzuvaya moment. Maybe some of you can relate. Maybe it's different for you. Yes. But I love you and I'm with you. Thanks for being here with me. Yeah.